want to begin again? Hello.
Hello, my name is Walter Linsky.
Yeah.
My wife and I have lived here since 3 years ago. And she passed back 2 months ago in August.
Okay, and how you doing so far?
Doing fine. She would be making this presentation if she was here because she loved decorating and loved art. She's a very good painter.
Okay, well, we're happy to have you here. And we have this lady who I meet in the hallways and in the walk around the clock. You tell you. I know her last name is Dos Santos, but her first name I have a little hard time pronouncing. Trinda. Did you all get that?
No.
Yeah, Trinda.
Again. Trinda. You have to stick out your tongue again.
You don't have to put the tongue Trinda.
Well, I kind of
Trinda
exaggerated.
there's something.
Okay. Why don't you sit up there, Trinda? Sit up there. No,
Well, my band, it's
She's afraid.
my company.
yeah, I know, but we like to feature you up there. Darling. Oh. Okay. Pat, do you want to sit up here
Sure I will.
so that we know who's featured?
It's pretty good.
And I have to tell you guys that I'm going to tell a little bit about what hangs in front of my door. Just because...
You didn't bring it down?
No, I didn't, but I have a picture that I took.
Okay.
It's probably later on going to the
Oh, this is the one that's up there.
It's the one that's up on there, yeah. But it's not the same as seeing it because the fabric, the fabric is
I know.
gorgeous. And that picture.
I'm just a filler tonight, so at the end of all of this, I'll bring the real thing down.
Okay.
Is that a rug
It's on the
or
top.
what? Is that a rug hanging or? On your door, is that a rug?
It's beaded.
Oh, so it's like
It's
a,
a whole pre-engine. I got it in Thailand.
okay.
Oh, the elephant?
Yeah.
How is it hooked on the door?
How is it? Oh, just a couple of hooks and just hang it.
My daughter.
The hanging thing.
Open the door.
Yeah.
You want me to bring it down?
Oh. Do you want it?
Well, you said at the end, I'll bring it down.
Okay.
Or maybe
We'll pass it.
No. You know what? No, I meant at the end of doing the door stories, which may end
So-
next month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to pass it up.
Oh,
Pass it to Barbara.
Okay.
Although maybe somebody in the
sure.
back.
I think we're probably going to begin. And at the end, I will talk a little bit about my door story. We've got 3 lovely people here, and we planned on doing more, but last minute things happen. So this is one of them that I really had hoped she made all this. And there's quite a display for Halloween. And unfortunately, she couldn't make it. She's designed all kinds of stuff. And I had a short chat with her. So unfortunately, she was not able to come because her husband was ill. So she just called me tonight. But this was fabulous. In fact, Trinda right here said, you gotta see this, you gotta see this. And I did, and I thought, wow, that is quite a display. So unfortunately, do you want to talk a little bit before we start. What about Halloween? I mean, it's over, but we had this big Halloween party and people dressed up, and it was kind of fun. I was there. Were you there? Anybody want to talk about Halloween? What that meant? What that means to you? It used to be for little kids, right? Trick or treating. Now we have to be really careful what they trick or treat for, and it's kind of changed. Now everybody, all the adults, dress up and get like crazy, and it's fun. But anybody want to talk about your Halloween here or Halloween with your family? Because that seems to be a big deal. Anybody want to comment on Halloween? A hush fell over the crowd. Yes.
Well, I stopped Halloween for my kids because I said, you dress up as something you're not and they reward you for it. So I did not win Mother of the Year award that time.
Yeah. Halloween definitely has grown in stature all over the place. So I'm not sure why, but I guess everybody wants to have fun, and winter is coming, and so we are ready to celebrate. Anybody go to the party here and have a good time? Yeah?
Yeah.
So, okay, a few more people are coming, yay. Okay, well, there is hope yet. Now, let me, where are the other, oh, here. So as you talk, you're going to use the mic, and I will set the mic down here, and can you all share? Okay. Okay, we're waiting for you. I guess you're here. So let's start. Maybe Walt, would you like to start and tell a little bit about yourself and tell a little bit about what you have on your door?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, as I mentioned briefly ago, my wife passed about 3 months ago here, and it would have been 3 years this November that we would have been here, coming from Texas. When Pat was here, she was very active in the art, the women's art activities on the fourth floor, and this is one of the products that came out of it. Actually, they helped. Excuse me. Okay. I'm sorry. At any rate, I had helped to make that wreath, and then the insert was put in there after the fact by Julianne, and it came out pretty good. It wound up being on our door. As I mentioned at the start, my wife always loved to decorate for all holidays, no matter where we lived. We've lived in quite a few places. But the art get-together is on Monday and Friday on the fourth floor, and the people there are just so interactive and so helpful. So if any of you are interested in doing artwork, you're certainly welcome.
And you're part of it. You're working.
Well, I'm the only guy there, but
Good for you.
Good
Good for you.
yeah. Well, they let me come because my wife had passed, and they've been so gracious about everything.
And this is?
And that is a pumpkin that was made in that class. Very simple, but again, with help from the ladies there. And it was Kay and Julianne and Trudy and a bunch of other people.
And you got some rocks here.
And these are rocks. My wife loved to paint portraits as well as anything, and she's painted all of these. I'm sorry, but you're welcome. Just take a look at them. This is Molly was our puppy, is a Bichon that we came with. We had her for 12 years, and she passed while she was here. And so Pat painted this little thing and said, Mrs. Molly, 21, she lived for 21 years.
Wow.
And so we had her for quite a while. We have another puppy now, which I think you've seen around riding in Milwaukee. This is another one that's Pat painted, and it says, "Become the change."
That's interesting.
Very nice.
And there's a couple others. This is one that Pat made of Charlie, which is our new puppy. And let's see, I think there's just two more. This one simply says, and there's flowers painted on it. It just says, "Be happy." And the last one we had, if I can read it, it has a picture of flowers, and it says, "Bloom. Can't give up. Or don't give up. Just bloom."
Does that mean we're all blooming? Can we
Well,
bloom too?
That's the advice.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone needs to bloom.
One needs to bloom no matter how
Yeah.
old you are,
But
right?
those are all, yes, absolutely.
Okay, can I pass this around so people can take a look?
Yes, of course.
So,
Pat had that on a little table outside of our door.
okay, so yeah, I picked up on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you want to tell us about your wife? Did you do the art projects with her?
No, she liked to do that by herself, and I respected that.
Okay, and then you praised her, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Well, what's not to praise, because everything she did was beautiful.
Okay,
She actually she painted pictures of people as well, portraits. She did one of our granddaughter in Texas, and we sent that to her. But it looks like a photograph. I mean, she was so articulate in what she did.
and why don't you tell us about what you did? I guess you were on the other side of art.
Yeah, I was just the breadwinner.
Well, no, tell us what you did in real life.
Well, I was a chemist. I retired actually from the Food and Drug Administration in St. Louis. A lot of people don't know it, but the Central Laboratory for Drug Evaluation is done in St. Louis. It's been done there since 1900, and a lot of people think that the FDA is in Washington. The offices are in Washington, but the laboratory for drugs is in St. Louis. So I worked there, and then after I retired from there, we chose to move to Texas, and I was working at the University of Texas on a program that they had there for countermeasures to chemical and biological threats. So we're developing like things to a countermeasure to anthrax and that kind of thing.
Okay, so it was a marriage of a scientist and an artist.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that works, doesn't it? Okay, well, let us call upon our lady who holding the mic, Pat. You've seen Pat in many different guises, but now she's back. She, if you saw you can kind of look at the portrait of her. She opened the door just at the right moment. And of course, she's been on stage a number of times. But this time, I couldn't resist. I go by, and there she is at the door. And people tell me she does this every year. She's a creative person. So, Pat, tell us about it. You want to stand
You know,
up?
you're really hard to say no to.
Amen.
I went ahead and because Halloween is more than just one day in 1 year, Halloween comes around, and before COVID, we certainly had our Halloween parties here. I know there was the other day, but I had a commitment already, so I couldn't. But here is Phil and I. Would you want to just pass that around? That's 1919 and 2019 that we were the Pope and Sister Teresa. That's what I call them. And I'll get to our doorway in a moment, but I wanted to give you just a little background of some other things. Phil and I came as this at the Carrington one year. He was in the male outfit, just like the opposite of mine. So I think people were a little bit taken back by our outfits. Then the door that's at 1460 is only an extension. Of what I did my whole life with my children. As a matter of fact, up here in the corner, we had a great big pine tree. I don't know what, arborvitae or something like that. And I took a couple of bed sheets.
I beg your pardon?
You want to hold that back just a little bit?
Sure.
And we ended up with Henrietta. And Henrietta was a couple of king-size sheets sewn together and putting on the top of that tree. And believe me, it was the neighborhood hit. And it was there, we put it up a couple of different Halloweens. Here's the doorway that we have this year, and it's up on the thing. But what I wanted to show you here, I'm gonna just put it this way, is that all of my children's lives, every year, I made costumes for all of the children. And I had 6, and then I ended up with Phil's, and I did that for them also. Down at the bottom here, my 2 sisters and I took a cruise every year after our mother passed away, and we always took it over Halloween so we could dress up and be stupid, and we did. And here at the bottom are 3 different years that the 3 of us were in costumes for Halloween. So I come by decorating a door very honestly that it's a tradition from the past. If you were to look at this one and you went around the hall down to our apartment, Thanksgiving is already in place since the day after Halloween. I have just a couple more boards I want to show you. You can just put that down.
Here, do you want me to, or you want to?
Oh, God.
Do you make all these costumes? Or
A Mother Superior I did not make. That was a purchased outfit, but everything else I've made.
wow.
This here, when my sister and I decided to go on this cruise over Halloween, we decided that our daughters would come, and so I had nieces and nephews as well as my own daughters, and we had 2 in-laws along beside, so there were 13 women. And we had a time unbelievable because, excuse me, please, not talking. On this ship, there were 600 gay men. Now, I love gay men because they love to dance, and I love to dance. And we're there to have a good time, and we were there to have a good time. The whole time we were on board that ship, something was going on. When I dressed up as Mother Superior, I think I must have had my picture taken at least 50 times that night, because if there was something about the costume that was very real to these gentlemen. And I thought I still had the picture, but it's somewhere else. There is a picture of me with 3 men over 6 feet tall in Victorian costumes they're in, and I'm Mother Superior. And honest to God, we all had a wonderful time that night. There were over 500 people who wore costumes on that cruise, and everyone had a great time. Here, this isn't all 13. I think there are 9 on this, or 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them on the night that we had the parade. So we can just pass it around. So, as I said, costumes are second nature to me. Yes.
Was the cigarette part of the costume?
That was one of my
A nice
daughters
touch.
that got this. I've never
touch.
smoked, but one of my daughters put that in my hand, actually. And I don't drink either, but I had a drink in my hand also. On one of those nights that we were on this cruise, the 13 of us also all dressed up in Western garb, and we also had a wonderful time with that. Now I want to talk about the door. One more. Yes, that one. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, those were on the board. Here's the picture of our door, like it's up on the screen up there.
Oh.
And I don't know what made me turn the wreath into a witch, but I had great fun doing it. And people commented about the witch on our door. And I put the gnome away very carefully because he stretched out to be about this tall, and if you pushed him down, he went down to like 2.5 feet. I'll put that around also. And if you were to go down the hallway, this is what we have for Thanksgiving: a cornucopia filled with phony apples and whatever else.
Is this your apartment number?
Yes. 1460.
I'm going to be coming by
come by
once a month
anytime
at
you want.
least. Oh my.
It is like a challenge to me to be out and get yesterday's theme off the door and the new theme up before it gets to be noontime anyhow. I think, let's see, this is the last one. This is just another costume I made. Just coming up with what is the theme is the hardest thing, because there are some very good people. Look at what Cave Roman came as, the Elmer's glue. How could you outdo that? That was really very, very clever.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Well, maybe as people think about it,
Okay.
they'll ask more questions. You can give that to Trinda. I still don't pronounce it right. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Trinda.
Yes.
I had a terrible time the first couple times I met her.
She corrects me all the time. I met Trinda walking the halls. She's a walker. And she walks and walks and walks, and I meet her along the way too as she's walking outside in the beautiful weather. Sometimes she does 2 miles, sometimes she does 6 miles, and she has all the gizmos that show how many miles she walked. So she's in pretty good shape. And not only that, but she has an interesting exhibition in front of her door. And I also walked into her apartment. She invited me. And I saw some interesting, what I would call tchotchkes, but things that, little fragile things, little sculptures all over. So she's kind of an art collector as well. So Trinda, you tell us about what's in front of your door.
Well, in front of my door is like I have.
Can you stand up so they can see you?
Okay.
And hold it up to yeah.
That's good. In front of my door is something. I have a lot of knickknacks, and I don't have space for to put it. So I thought that will be nice in the front door. But maybe in the new year, I'm going to change it. I'm going to put this baby there. But people who walk in the hallway, don't be scared because you don't bite.
But Trinda, tell more about what's in front of your door.
Well, in front of my door is like my sons, the angel, and some knickknacks, and that's it.
Okay, can you talk about an individual thing?
The what?
One of the things that is in front of your door, because you have many things on that shelf.
Well, that's easy to walk and be safe in front of my door.
Oh, they'll keep you safe?
Keep me safe. Yeah. They don't let bad things go at the door.
Well, if we look at specific things, I know you can't bring them all, but there are some statues here. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, see, in the second is the Christmas, some toy from Christmas. Some of my family gave it to me for Christmas.
So those are your tchotchkes?
Yes. So, it's it. Not too many stories. They are almost things I have in the house.
Well, talk a little bit about where you came from and how you got here.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I come from Chicago.
Originale.
Oh, original. Okay, original. I come from Portugal. That's why my English is not as good as the people who live here many years. But probably a lot of people don't understand me, but I understand them. I'm trying my best.
Well, how did you get here? You want to talk about that?
Here?
Here. Yeah.
Here I get because I was falling, and the stairs made me scared, and because I was living in the second floor, and I don't have elevator, so I had stairs to go. So my son decided for me to be in a place more safe with the elevator and on stairs. That's why I end up here. And like everybody else, I'm trying my best to be adjusted around here because I'm not here too long, but I'll be okay.
Okay. All right. Do you want to tell us anything more?
I don't have
Your secret life?
I don't have any secret life. My life is clear and open.
Okay. All right. Great. I'm going to fill in just a little because we had a cancellation. So here, take this. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's on my door. I was going to hold off till the end of time, but I have actually an elephant on my door, and I'll pass this around on this side and that side. And also a little added thing that says, aging may have slowed me down, but it hasn't shut me up. And for those of you who might know me a little bit, that's probably appropriate. Also, I have, since it's an elephant, I realize that elephants are very smart. So I like to identify with them. They can, let me tell you what elephants can do. They can identify languages. They can use tools. They understand the human body. They show empathy. Has anybody ever been in Africa or anywhere where there are elephants? Okay. The first encounter with elephants, you see them in their groups, and they're maybe a child or two, and they're very attentive to family. They really are attentive to family. They show empathy. They mourn their dead. They mimic human voices, and they have extraordinary memories. And I thought I'd kind of fill in with some photos, which I'll pass around. I was in Thailand and rode an elephant, and I was in India and rode an elephant. And I am told by younger people that you don't ride those elephants anymore. We're not doing that anymore. However, I think they are, because I've seen recent pictures. This is a pianist in Thailand. There's areas where the mahouts, which are the young men who take care of the elephants, gather, and there's a whole area that I was in. I don't know if it's changed. But so the man is playing Fur-Elise, and the elephant is there listening, and here, Barbara, and the elephant, it just is sort of stirred by the music, and then at the end, the pianist and the elephant are hugging. So what's fascinating to me, I guess, is learning about elephants. I thought as long as I have an elephant on my door, I might as well know more about it. So I did. I looked up a lot of stuff. In this one, tourists come and swim with the elephants in the pools there. And they're very friendly. And then in this lower one, and I don't know if this is a put-up job or not, but the elephant is drawing an elephant with its trunk. So why don't you pass that one around? And then I am told that by younger people that we don't ride elephants anymore. Well, when I was there, I did. And I did in India as well as Thailand. And so one of these is a shot of looking out at others riding an elephant, and the other is me riding an elephant. And this is a picture of the elephant and a mahout, who, these guys are really, it's like family. And they raise them, they wash them, they feed them, and each mahout is in charge of an elephant. So this is a picture of one mahout and his caretaker, or his elephant, and the other is a series of mahouts that all take care of their elephants. So it was like a research project for me, because I thought at the beginning of it, when I came here, I just hung whatever was around in front of the door, and then I got to thinking about elephants. And this is what happened in my research. I did more research on elephants as well, but I will not bore you with that. I have seen elephants do all kinds of things, and groups of elephants, and elephants coming to the watering hole. And so I thought, well, wow, I really appreciate elephants now that I know more about them. And I think that's one thing that, we don't pay attention to animals because we think they're different species. But on the other hand, there's a lot that we can learn from animals. So let me turn it back to he's nodding his head.
Yes.
Did I say something that you agree with? Okay.
Everybody loves animals.
Okay. Well, not everybody does. Sometimes we're fearful. Yes.
You neglect to tell them they're on an endangered species just now.
Yes. Come up here and I can't hear you. If you wish to add, come up here, because
In your research, Carol,
Yeah.
you neglected to inform everyone that elephants now have been quite a thing in the news about them, that they're on the endangered species because of the hunters and police that have gone after their ivory. So they are being slaughtered. Similar to what happened to the buffaloes in the Indian era. They're being slaughtered for their ivory, and the rest of their bodies left to rot. So there is a great movement going on right now for adopting elephants,
Yes.
and also donation for elephants because they're really on a very extinct list, and they are being covered now by the government for that.
thank you for adding that. That's the bad news. Yeah.
Yeah, they are pushing that.
Anyone who has Disney Channel, if you watch the making of the elephant movie, there's an elephant movie, then there's about the making of it. They showed the elephants going across the Serengeti, and the matriarch had died 5 years before. And as the whole long parade of elephants went by, every single one of them stopped at the carcass, the bones, the skeleton really, of the old matriarch that was now dead for all those years. And everyone went up and nuzzled that skeleton. It was the most poignant thing to see that.
That's about family. Okay, anybody have questions of our participants today? Questions Carol.
I have a comment. I live across the hall from the elephant, okay? And the pictures do not do it justice. It's a beautiful, beautiful, I call it a tapestry, but it's
It is
just
a
beautiful. The colors are so rich and deep. So I wish you had brought it,
I will.
but it is
I will.
lovely to live across from it.
Okay. So she stares at my elephant all the time. Anybody else want to ask any of our participants a question? Yes.
You didn't mention the picture under bistro. Whose door is that? What's the story?
Which one? You mean the one that's projected?
Yeah.
That was underneath mine, underneath the elephant?
The
middle. The middle.
Oh, the witch? Yeah, that's the one I did mention before. She was supposed to come. She constructed all of this, and her husband was ill, and she had to clean up the mess, and so she could not come. She was exhausted. But when I first talked to her, I knocked on the door, and she apparently is a tapestry maker and has done a ton of other things. And I'm so sorry. I was very disappointed that she couldn't come. And she said she was exhausted and couldn't come. Perhaps she'll come another time, but she did give that particular witch away to her daughter. So the witch is gone. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Anyway, any other questions of our participants? Well, this has been great, and we have probably at least one more next month, and then it's kind of hard for me to find people, and then they don't always answer when I put a note on their door. So I'm hoping that we can continue, but if you could give me any hints about how I can keep this going, that would be great, because on occasion people don't show up, they don't respond, and so that makes it a little frustrating. And I mean, I do walk the halls, I like that part, and I do have a little exercise and I need to do that. But if you know of anybody who has a really interesting door or an interesting story, let me know, because then I will search it out. So thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Trudy has always interesting things on her door. Trudy.
Trudy, yeah, oh, I know, we had her right at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, Trudy led us off with this whole thing. We got all of Trudy's stories.
Next door to her.
Yeah, oh, yeah, right. Okay, so thanks for coming, and if you wish to talk to anybody, I'm sure they're here to schmooze with you.